I know we talked about what it means, right? The culture. Out of my curiosity, do you think that cannabis culture is universal? Like, I can go anywhere. We all have the same understanding of the culture, from state to state, from country to country, from people to people. Do you think that cannabis culture is universal? Like, we are all unspoken. We all know.
I think there's some things that are universal. Like if I walk into a session in Michigan, they probably gonna hit it twice and pass it to me. You know what I mean? But like, they might not roll the same thing that I'm rolling. So like that's the like little nuances that might be different. But for the ultimate, yes, I think that it is the same. We're gonna all look at each other the same way when we're ready to smoke. We're gonna all know where the cuts are when it's time to smoke. You know what I mean? We all gonna have a lighter in our pocket. So like that part of the culture is definitely, you're right. Most of us gonna have a lighter in our pocket.
Okay. I'm like, hold on,
you know,
I don't.
That's definitely like, I think consistent across the board in the culture.
Someone has a lighter.
Exactly.
Someone has a lighter. I agree with that. Any common etiquettes? Like, what you know is, I think one of my common things is, if I'm in a session with a group of people, you better ash that J before you pass it to me. If it's already at that point, you know you should ash it, don't pass it to me. Ash it first. You did that, not me. So that's like my common etiquette. I feel like everywhere I go, usually they'll pass, like, oh, wait, hold on. And then they go back and ash. So that's my tea. I think that's a common. Any other etiquettes you guys can think of?
Common etiquette is like, I think I put this comment under your Instagram post, but it's like, if there's a group of us and I'm passing a J to somebody, like, don't assume that J is universal for like the entire big group. If we're in a big social setting, it's like, just, you know, give me a nod. Like, is this going to the left or should I pass it back to you? Like, yeah. Little check-in.
If you don't check in, we're not friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're an acquaintance now.
I don't want you to have me know Jay that's canoeing already. Like, you gotta,
like fix it?
Yeah, you gotta fix that problem before you
Become
send
a
it my
doctor.
way. Yeah. We all know how to do it, so like, you do it. Because again, this isn't what I caused. You caused this. You did this.
Oh, yes.
I know one thing really early when I started smoking was no wet J's, no wet blunts.
Facts.
No, and you know, I did grow up smoking with the guys, but when I got into college and like my homegirls started, I was like, don't put the lip gloss on so soon. Put it on and then let it sit a little bit.
Just like take it off like right here in this little area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all know, like, and then,
Eventually, folks started bringing little straws from McDonald's.
whoa.
Very, very specific McDonald's
The
straws.
McDonald's straws is the perfect for the tips to fit in.
Yeah.
You slip it right in there, and it creates a little suction, and then you don't have to have any sticky J's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal that.
As you should.
I might have some straws in my
Pro
house.
tip.
I'm gonna get that.
Not everybody has, and McDonald's straws are thick enough too, so as the heat comes in, you're still, you know, I'm just saying. Things you learn in college.
Behind
Thanks,
the
Mom.
scenes.
I'm stealing that. That's
I think
taken.
matching is common across the board, depending on the space and like who you're hanging out with. But like if we are specifically coming together to smoke, I'm not the only one bringing weed. Like that's crazy.
Yep.
That's absolutely insane. And if you can't contribute weed, you're feeding us. Or if we're down to get crossfaded, you're buying the alcohol or whatever else. Like you have to contribute in some way, shape, or form. And I want to believe that that's blanket across the entire culture.
Yeah, I would. So it's funny. I was actually going to talk about matching. It's something that you're amazing. That was an amazing segue. I'm telling you. So I'm just going to skip it and go straight to it. So for people who don't know what matching is, because I realize it is a slang or a lingo that people in the community do know, matching is essentially when a group of people decide to smoke together, and essentially people bring something to that session. And we all have different understandings of what you can and cannot bring to that session. So out of my curiosity, I'm gonna throw a couple of things I've noticed in matching sessions and see how you guys feel about this. First one is, if you're matching flower to flower, does it have to be the same amount of flower that you're matching? Like, can I do a skinny J, you do a fat J? Can I do a bong and, you know, oh, girl, you don't even need a mic. Okay. So, equal amount every time.
I mean, I would assume that your group of friends or your community would know to match down. Like if you're like, hey, I can only bring like half an eighth. I can't be doing too much. Everybody just bring that same amount, I guess. I wouldn't expect you to bring more than you can, but you can't skimp out. if you have to skimp out that bag, don't come.
Okay, I'm not against that.
I got friends that I know just roll smaller than me though. So it's not
Some
like
people
those
roll
people.
3 grams in a
It's like-
J.
yeah, and then it's those people on the opposite side, like you said. I'm not doing
The
that.
0.5,
Like
yeah.
I'm not putting the eighth in the J.
Ever.
So if you are that guy, which I do have friends that come over, prepare for me to not have the same size blunt. But if you like rolling a blunt that can barely stand up because it's so small, then like yeah, that's a problem. So I feel you on both sides.
Yeah, I get your
Yeah.
I do think the bong to J is interesting. Like,
just do
if
that.
I had a J and they brought their bong, I'd be like, I'll just smoke my J, and how about you just hit your bong? Like, I don't know. I guess maybe that's a conversation to be had. But I agree with him on the concept of size of J's. I don't really participate in sessions very much anymore because, like, I be in a house, so it's like I mostly smoke by myself now, so I tend to roll smaller J's. So when I am in sessions, I have to be conscious of that. Or it's like, look, yo, I roll smaller J's. So, like, you can either, like, just kind of is what it is. It's not going to be, you know, a pencil, but
Yeah, not a pencil.
I don't mind if they're different sizes.
Definitely 100%. I was like, I honestly feel like the culture definitely changed, to keep it a bean. Like, we went from big group sessions, I think it would be like 4 people, and then either the older we get, honestly, I think because of COVID, after COVID, it kind of became like, I loved COVID, guys, because I never loved.
talk about it.
I know it sounds crazy. Just bear with me. Bear with me. There's a point, I swear. I love COVID because I never share my blunt. You guys might know that. I don't like passing my blunt. I don't like sharing my blunt because I don't think everyone rolls different. And I think I roll really nice. And unless I roll RJs, I would prefer to just smoke mine. It's nothing personal. And then COVID came along and no one wanted to, like, no one's waiting for me, like, are you gonna pass that? Right. It was very peaceful. And then now sessions became like everyone's facing their own J. Cause like at that time, like we would still hang out, but then we're facing our own Js. So now I feel like the culture is everyone bring your own J. And if you're not happy, we're cool with facing. You know what I mean? So I think that culture change was kind of crazy and appreciated. Only thing appreciated.
I will say though, I think a lot of it was prompted. I mean, depending on when you started consuming. I mean, Maryland was a medical market for a long time, so we couldn't even walk into smoke shops talking about cannabis. So it was like we meeting, but you know, cuckoo. You know, you send it through snail mail. Folks know to come together. So I think it was a combination of being in a very still heavy stigmatized state. Also, COVID. Right? Too many crunchy coughs still out here, folks.
It's a smoker's cough.
No, it's crunchy when you're in the grocery store and you're like, what is that? But I do think there's a time and a space for just thinking about what it means culturally when you can consume collectively. You may not necessarily need to share, but you know, there's a vibe when, you know, we both have hit that same point and we look at each other like, So it's just space and time for that, but
I love it.
yeah.